In this video I'm going to show you 7 vintage t-shirt design fonts that helped me increase my sales, and I believe they can do the same for you. And for those of you who are new to the channel, you might not know that this is Milo, my very cute sausage dog. He wanted to just say hi at the start of the video. He does basically help with all of my content. He's the brains behind this YouTube channel, so I thought you should meet him as well. And yeah, let's get started with the video. What the f***? You're so funny. So the first font on my list is called Drone Ranger. This is a display font that I've been using a lot recently. Very glad I found it. It has a few different styles, which is always very handy. So you can make it fit different niches, different scenarios. So you've got the sans serif, which is very simple and clean. Then you've got the serif version with these little edges right here, which makes it look a lot more retro and classic. And then the special version kind of looks like a Western newspaper sort of headline. I don't know. Not particularly a style that I would use a lot because it's hard to read, but it's still nice to have that extra option there. And then for each one of these you also have a clean version, meaning it's just straight up and normal, then the oblique, which is the sort of tilted one, and inked, which is definitely my favorite. I do like when there's these sort of distressed textures within a font, because it does make it look extremely nice on t-shirt designs and definitely does sell very well. Scrolling down you get more examples of the different font variations that you have. The Drone Ranger 2 inked version is definitely the one that I find the most attractive. It does look extremely nice. It's very easy to read. This is the third option. Like I said, this sort of special style. It does look cool and might work for some very specific niches, but it is a bit harder to read, so definitely be careful with how you use this one. And now we're moving on to some mock-ups which do show how you can use this font and what sort of niches it might suit. Beer mock-ups, definitely a font that I can see in beer niches. You also get a $15 value pack added for free, which has these nice little cool vector line art illustrations that you could use as sort of decoration for your t-shirt designs, which is really cool. Always like when they throw in something like this with the font, because it typically suits the style of the font and gives you some nice free graphics to work with. And we've got this mock-up here, which does sort of indicate that this font could work very well for hunting as well. Yeah, definitely a really cool one. I've been using it a lot recently, and I can see it working across many different niches, maybe predominantly more male-centric niches. So we've seen the beer, the hunting, that kind of style, but yeah, generally very attractive font with an extremely nice distressed texture effect. And just in case you're wondering, all of the fonts I'm going to mention will obviously be linked down below in the description, so you can also check them out for yourself. And moving on, we've got Blackstone. This is quite a big font family for a pretty nice price, to be honest, considering the quality and the variety. And I've been using this for over a year now. I always keep coming back to it. I just can't get enough of this font. There's so much flexibility, so many unique versions. So you've got different line textures with different angles. There is halftone effects, and there's just simple distressed textures, and this single line going through the letters, which looks very retro, very cool style. And then you also get shaded versions. You can combine different colors. There's some examples here of how you might combine some of the variations to, you know, create unique color schemes. Endless possibilities. A really cool font. It's also condensed, which is always one of my favorite styles when it comes to fonts, because you can just use it in so many different scenarios. If you've got a small word, you can make it nice and big. If you've got longer words, because the font is so condensed, it will still be big enough for people to read it. So definitely an overall incredibly useful font, and it works across so many different niches. I myself have used it in gender reveal niches. I've used it in beer niches, Mother's Day, like literally it almost suits everything. Here's a cool example with mountains. This is more of a restaurant logo, but you get the idea. Could probably work very well for hiking. Some other color combinations which look extremely cool. And yeah, I mean, I think you get the idea. There's plenty of mock-ups here that show you the sort of feel and theme of this font and the different opportunities or possibilities, really, with this abundance of different styles that you get. Definitely an all-around font. If you want variety and you just want to invest in one font rather than many different ones, then this is definitely one to consider, because it just covers so many areas and different styles. So one of my favorites, and one to definitely check out if you like this type of style. And font number 3 is actually a font pack of 3 different fonts. These look extremely nice, they're very unique, seem very happy, and have extremely nice looking ligatures, which means that you can customize most of these letters to make them look different, so they can have these different swirls, like the L right here, or the E as well has different options. So definitely always a very cool feature of fonts to have, because you can make your designs really stand out this way. It just looks way more hand-drawn and professional that way. You can see different examples here of the sort of ligatures in action, and there's also some distressed effects for these fonts, so that just adds to the overall feel and quality. I always find that if you've got really nice textured fonts on a t-shirt, it just looks that little bit nicer. As you can see different examples here, Merry Christmas definitely looks extremely nice, so if you're doing Christmas themed designs, this is definitely an option as well. I find that this font also works really well for inspirational quotes, so things that, for example, do quite well on Etsy. I could generally see this font looking extremely nice in Etsy thumbnails, so there's just another idea of how you might get use of this font, because whilst it might not suit every single niche out there, it's definitely got a lot of opportunity to work for that kind of theme. Coffee right here, that looks extremely nice as well, and just look at these color schemes. I mean, you could even just use them as inspiration. So yeah, do check this one out. It's extremely nice. I really love its aesthetic. It's definitely an amazing option for vintage t-shirt design fonts. Next up, we've got a font that's literally called Vintage Sunset Font, which is pretty funny because we know vintage sunsets sell extremely well on t-shirt designs. This one is just a quick and simple one I definitely wanted to share with you because it has a retro color theme built in, and it's a very nice one as well. It actually suits this mock-up extremely well with the green van right here. It definitely works as the examples show you. Once you've got it and downloaded and installed it and you type out a word, it has this color scheme built in. I will warn you, it works better on lighter backgrounds, so on white t-shirts or maybe grey t-shirts rather than black, and that's because this shadow outline is quite dark. Definitely a font that I'm going to use a lot more in the future. I only just found it recently, but I had to show it to you because it's a very nice sort of theme. It is $6 at the moment. I think when I looked the other day it was actually just $1. However, if you want to get it for just $1, you can literally just get the 7-day trial with Creative Fabrica. That's enough to download this font for $1, and just other assets as well included in Creative Fabrica within your 7 days trial. So that's my tip. If this is more expensive than $1, just take advantage of this 7-day trial deal. And font number 5 on my list is a massive font family pack. It's called Intro Rust. It's very popular. I see it on top selling t-shirt designs all the time. I've got quite a few styles of this myself. I don't have the entire bundle because it's quite expensive. I mean, you can see right here in these mock-ups and examples that once again, this is a font with an abundance of different styles. You've got line textures, a line going through the middle of the letters or without. Then you've got halftone effects. You've got this really nice distressed texture effect right here, which is one of the nicest looking ones in any of the fonts I've ever purchased. You also get thin options, which is really cool in combination with the thicker styles, and as you can see in the examples, it's just a very, very professional looking font. I've seen this in restaurants, in adverts. It's just about everywhere, an extremely popular font in different niches and even industries. So this is definitely, in my opinion, one of the best t-shirt design fonts out there. It is quite expensive, especially if you're buying the whole pack, but you can go to a website called myfonts.com. That's where I purchased this font myself. On Creative Market, which is where I'm showing these mock-ups, you can only buy the entire bundle, I think, which I'll link down below as well. But on My Fonts, you can actually get individual styles for less, and that's definitely a good option. If you just wanted, say, this script version right here, or some variations of this, then you can purchase those singular styles there for cheaper, and you don't have to pay out for the entire bundle if you're not going to use all of those styles. So yeah, definitely one font to consider if you want high quality, a font that literally has proven to sell in top selling designs on Amazon and other marketplaces. So one of my favorites for sure, and one that I will always recommend if someone's asking for font suggestions. And next up, I've got Brawl's Typeface to share with you. This is a very nice looking font with, once again, a distressed texture and the option to have different ligatures. So if you use capital letters, I believe it is, then it extends some of these letter forms, and you can also sometimes change to different options. So the N might have one of these arching upwards, and then if you change the glyph option, then one of the other options might be of it going downwards, which is quite nice to have that variety there. This font is also a bit rounded off and not very straight, which makes it look very friendly, and you even get, once again, a bonus file of these badge designs, and I've used that a lot in the past as well, not necessarily for the badges, but because these elements here are also textured. So you get like these little well, just lines with a texture effect in them, and they can be used in t-shirt designs as decorative items, and because they already match the font extremely well, they just go along very nicely in the t-shirt design and feel very cohesive with the font. So yeah, definitely a cool one to consider. You can use it normally without the ligatures. You can just have actual normal words written out. You don't need to have these sort of swirls at the top of the letters, and you can also use the bonus files to create more interesting looking text-based designs. Very nice font, not like 10,000s of variations in this one. It's more of a simple and straightforward one, but definitely very useful for plenty of different niches and a very attractive style, very friendly and versatile. And last but not least, we've got Veneer. This is a very clean and simple font. It's sort of a one suits all theme. Definitely does work across pretty much every niche out there. It's a very clean sans serif. It has different variations of texture. Some are lighter texture, some are a bit harsher. There's some free icons as well that you can get. So if we scroll down, the family package has all of the fonts in one, and then the individual styles you can see right here. Just to make these a bit bigger. So there we go. You can see the light texture and then the rough texture effect down here. This is even rougher, so it might be a bit hard to read, but the extras or the icons right here can be downloaded totally for free before you even purchase the font. So there's a quick little tip for anyone who doesn't want to spend money at all. You can at least get some free icon packs from this font right here. So definitely a very cool one, and I hope you like it as well. And that's all the fonts I've got to share with you today. And if you're now looking for some niche ideas to create designs for with these fonts, then I recommend you watch this video next, where I share 101 profitable evergreen niches with you.